Have you ever wondered why life seems to flow so effortlessly for some, while you feel like you're constantly swimming upstream? You work hard, you try to stay positive, but something still feels off. What if it's not about luck, but alignment? April 22nd, 2025 isn't just another day. It's a rare, energetic window. A day when the universe opens space for clarity, focus, and prosperity to flow. But only if you know how to tune in. This isn't superstition, it's vibration. And on this day, 6 sacred numbers hold more than symbolic power. They're spiritual signals rooted in Buddhist teachings and cosmic rhythm. Each one points you back to what really creates abundance, awareness, intention, and courage to act. If you've been stuck in survival mode, chasing wealth without peace, this might be the shift you've been waiting for. To begin this journey, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss more wisdom like this. And here's a quick energy shift. Comment below, "I welcome growth and harmony into my life." That small act, it's the first step toward powerful alignment. Now let's unlock the first number, and with it, your inner compass. Part 1. The power of 17, trusting your inner compass. There are moments in life when logic fails, when the map doesn't match the terrain, and the only thing left to guide us is that quiet voice within, the one we often ignore. That voice is intuition, and on April 22nd, the number 17 rises as a sacred reminder to trust it. In both Buddhist philosophy and spiritual numerology, 17 symbolizes inner alignment, when your thoughts, words, and actions harmonize with your deepest truth. It's not about chasing goals blindly. It's about choosing the ones that truly matter to you. In today's world, where we're constantly bombarded with advice, pressure, and comparison, the path to prosperity can feel crowded and confusing. But 17 doesn't shout, it whispers, reminding you that real clarity begins within. Think of it like this. If your inner compass is off by just a few degrees, you can walk miles in the wrong direction. But when your inner compass is aligned, even the hardest journey begins to feel purposeful. The number 17 also invites creativity, not just in art, but in the way you solve problems, earn money, build relationships, and express yourself. Abundance doesn't always come through traditional means. Sometimes it's your unique approach, your fresh idea, your wild what if, that opens the biggest doors. A woman named Emily was laid off unexpectedly. She had no backup plan, but she did have a skill for making herbal teas, something she once loved but had shelved for practicality. With nowhere else to turn, she leaned into it. She trusted the pull. She began selling small batches online. Within a year, it became her full-time income, and more importantly, her full-time joy. That's the energy of 17. It says, you already know, trust that. Even if it doesn't make sense yet. Even if others don't understand. Even if fear tries to talk you out of it. This number isn't just a nudge, it's a call to action. Ask yourself, what decision have I been putting off because I'm afraid to trust myself? Where am I ignoring my instincts in favor of playing it safe? What part of me already knows the answer, but is waiting for permission? Here's the truth. You don't need permission, you need alignment. And that begins with listening. So on April 22nd, don't just hope for luck. Let the number 17 remind you that you are your greatest guide. Align, trust, create. The path is already inside you. Part 2. The power of 39. Embrace change and bold action. Have you ever felt stuck? Not because you lacked opportunity, but because you feared what might happen if you actually said yes. That hesitation, that invisible wall between you now and you transformed, is exactly what the number 39 helped you break through. On April 22nd, the energy of 39 is your invitation to step out of your comfort zone, release the old, and move boldly into the unknown. It's scary, yes, but here's a truth most people learn too late. Comfort is not the same as peace. Sometimes, the things we cling to, our routines, our jobs, our stories, are the very things holding us back. 39 carries the vibration of letting go, not recklessly, but consciously. It whispers, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to start. And this number doesn't promise a perfect plan. Instead, it offers something more valuable: the courage to begin and the wisdom to adapt as you go. Let me tell you about Mark. He spent 15 years in a corporate job that drained his spirit. But he was afraid to leave, afraid to fail, afraid to lose the paycheck that bought his weekends. One day, during a meditation retreat, the thought came sharply, if I don't leave now, I'll spend the rest of my life managing regret. He didn't quit the next day, but he started planning. 6 months later, he launched a small home renovation business, something he'd always loved but never pursued. It was messy, it was hard, but it was real. And within a year, he made more than he ever did in corporate. More importantly, he felt alive again. That's the power of 39, risk plus resilience. It teaches that growth doesn't happen without movement, and movement often comes with discomfort. But discomfort isn't danger, it's just unfamiliar. Ask yourself today, what outdated version of yourself are you still trying to maintain? Where are you choosing safety over authenticity? What dream have you delayed because you're scared to be a beginner again? 39 is here to remind you that every master was once a rookie, and every path worth walking begins with a step that feels shaky. You don't need to be fearless to act. You need to be brave enough to act despite the fear. So on April 22nd, let 39 be your permission slip. Say yes to what excites you, even if it terrifies you a little. Because freedom, abundance, and fulfillment, they don't live in the known. They live just outside your comfort zone. Part 3. The Power of 27. Abundance through balance and creativity. When we think of abundance, our minds often jump to material things, money, possessions, success. But true abundance? It begins within. On April 22nd, the energy of the number 27 invites you to reconnect with your inner wealth. That quiet sense of enoughness, creativity, and generosity that can't be measured in dollars. In Buddhist thought, abundance is not about accumulation, but about alignment. The number 27 carries the vibration of clarity, seeing your life as it truly is, not through the lens of fear or lack, but through the eyes of possibility. This number asks, what gifts do you already have? How can you use them in new, expansive ways? 27 is also deeply tied to creativity, but not just in the artistic sense. It's the creativity of finding solutions, reimagining your role in the world, or daring to think differently about wealth itself. Let me tell you about Ravi, a retiree in his early 60s. After working 35 years in finance, he felt restless, like something was missing. His wife gifted him a watercolor set one birthday, just for fun. It awakened something. He began painting daily, then sharing his work online. A year later, he was hosting local art classes and selling prints. Not because he needed the money, but because he reconnected with purpose. That's inner abundance in action. The number 27 also reminds us of the power of generosity. It's not about giving what you have extra. It's about giving what feels meaningful. Time, encouragement, kindness. When you give freely, you align yourself with the natural law of circulation. What flows out, flows back in. Another layer of 27 is communication. Clear, honest dialogue, first with yourself, then with others. Are you expressing your vision clearly? Are you asking for what you need with compassion and confidence? Sometimes abundance is blocked not because of lack, but because of confusion, unclear desires, scattered energy, or fear of saying what you truly want. Use this number as a moment to pause and ask, what dream have I kept hidden because I thought it wasn't practical? How can I use my creativity, not just to make money, but to create meaning? In what ways can I give today that remind me how full I already am? The energy of 27 is about living on purpose, not by default. So on April 22nd, let 27 guide you back to your center, where creativity meets compassion, and wealth is something you feel before it ever shows up in your bank account. The world doesn't just need richer people. It needs more awakened, creative, and generous souls. And that journey, it begins with you. The power of 33. Wealth with purpose and gratitude. If there's one number that radiates the energy of graceful abundance, it's 33. On April 22nd, this sacred number invites you to realign your definition of success, not just through what you earn, but why you earn it. In spiritual numerology and Buddhist philosophy alike, 33 is the number of compassionate wisdom. It carries a powerful message. True wealth isn't what you have, it's what you share, freely, mindfully, and with love. Let's be honest. In today's world, it's easy to equate wealth with status, with hustle, with having more than others. But 33 cuts through that illusion. It reminds you that gratitude is the foundation for lasting abundance. When you're grateful, you're not just content, you become magnetic. You attract more because you recognize and respect what you already have. Let's revisit a simple Buddhist truth. Let us rise up and be thankful. For if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So, let us all be thankful. 33 brings you back to this mindset of gentle reverence for life. It also speaks to divine timing, that not everything you desire is supposed to arrive instantly. Sometimes, the universe is preparing you, strengthening you, teaching you, so you can receive and hold what's coming. Here's a story. Maya, a single mother, worked 3 jobs to support her kids. For years, she carried shame for not making it. But one day, during a quiet walk, she reflected on how far she'd come. Her children were safe, healthy, and loved. That realization sparked tears not from sadness, but from gratitude. And in that moment, everything shifted. Within a year, she opened a small business based on helping other struggling moms manage finances. She didn't just grow her income, she found her mission. That's the power of 33. It transforms pain into purpose, scarcity into service. It also asks you to nurture connection. Wealth, in this context, is not solitary. It flows through relationships, kindness, community. Who are you uplifting with your gifts? Who are you choosing to grow with? When you live with intention and allow your success to serve something bigger than yourself, life responds in kind. And ask yourself, what blessings have I overlooked lately? How can I turn my current struggles into service for others? Where is my heart pulling me to give, lead, or guide? On April 22nd, let 33 remind you. Gratitude multiplies, purpose sustains, and compassion enriches. This is wealth that no recession can touch. Because it doesn't live in your bank account. It lives in your heart and in the lives you touch. Part 5. The power of 227. Discipline, vision, and long-term focus. We live in a world of instant gratification. Fast food, quick likes, overnight success stories. But the number 227, rising strong on April 22nd, reminds us of a timeless truth. Real wealth is built, not wished for. In spiritual numerology, 227 is often referred to as a master builder number. Its energy is grounded, practical, and deeply focused on the long game. Not flashy wins, but steady, purposeful progress. If you've been chasing short-term results and feeling burnt out, 227 is your sign to shift into structure and sustainability. Think of a tree. You can't rush its growth. First, it digs deep roots, unseen, slow, silent. Only then does it begin to rise. The same is true with abundance. If you want something that lasts, you need a solid foundation. 227 whispers. Slow down. Plan carefully. Break big dreams into small steps. Consistency is stronger than intensity. It's not the most glamorous path, but it's the one that holds. This number also carries the wisdom of collaboration. You're not meant to build alone. Who are your allies? Your mentors? Your tribe? Success accelerates when shared. Here's a story to anchor this truth. Carlos was a talented carpenter in his 50s. He dreamed of owning his own workshop, but had been working odd jobs for years, just getting by. One day, he began waking up 30 minutes earlier, not to rush, but to write down a plan. Every morning, for 6 months. He then approached 2 old friends, one with marketing skills, the other with savings and trust. Together, they opened a small workshop. It wasn't huge, but it was solid. 3 years later, they're employing others and mentoring young workers in the community. Carlos didn't leap blindly. He built slowly. That's 227 in motion. This number also speaks to balance. It warns, don't get so focused on money that you neglect your health, relationships, or peace of mind. True wealth isn't about trading your life for your goals. It's about integrating your purpose with your well-being. So pause today and ask yourself, what system or structure do I need to stay focused? Where do I need to be more patient? Who around me shares my vision, and how can we support each other? Remember, slow progress is still progress. On April 22nd, let 222nd guide you to lay bricks, not chase balloons. Be strategic, be steady, be faithful to your path. Because success built with patience and purpose, that's the kind that lasts generations. Part 6. The power of 8, manifesting sustainable prosperity. If there's one number that truly symbolizes abundance in its fullest form, material, emotional, and spiritual, it's the number 8. On April 22nd, the number 8 rises not just as a sign of prosperity, but as a sacred reminder. Wealth without balance is fragile, but wealth rooted in harmony is unshakable. In both spiritual teachings and numerology, 8 is often seen as the infinity loop, a symbol of flow, regeneration, and balance. It represents the ongoing dance between giving and receiving, action and reflection, work and rest. Many chase money with force, with urgency, with desperation. But 8 teaches something different. Prosperity flows best when you're aligned with its rhythm, not when you chase it, but when you become a vessel for it. This number carries the vibration of divine timing. It tells us your moment will come, but only when you're truly ready to hold what you seek. Let's ground this with a real-life example. Nina, a yoga instructor in her early 40s, struggled for years to make ends meet. She took on side jobs, burned herself out, and worried constantly about money. One day, she made a radical decision, not to work harder, but to live more in sync with her values. She downsized her lifestyle, focused on community classes, and began offering donation-based sessions. Slowly, her reputation grew, not because she marketed herself, but because her presence carried peace. Today, she earns more than she ever did, but more than that, she feels full. Because she didn't just manifest money, she manifested meaning. That's the essence of 8 Resilient Abundance. It's not a fleeting windfall or viral success. It's the kind of wealth that grows with you, stays with you, and supports your deeper evolution. 8 also reminds us to cultivate resilience. Life will bring cycles, ups, downs, uncertainty. But like the unbroken loop it represents, your ability to bounce back, stay grounded, and continue growing is what determines how long your success lasts. This number teaches inner mastery. Stay calm in chaos. Stay generous in fear. Stay focused when tempted to quit. And above all, stay committed to balance, because what good is $1 million if you lose your health or peace along the way? Here are some reflection prompts for this energy. Where am I pushing too hard and blocking the flow? What part of my life feels out of balance? And what can I shift gently? Am I open to receive, or am I too busy controlling? On April 22nd, let the number 8 invite you to step into prosperity that breathes, that gives as much as it receives, that grows with grace, and that serves your life, not consumes it. You don't have to hustle harder. You have to align deeper. Because real abundance doesn't come from force, it comes from flow. Part 7. 6 Buddhist Practices to Release Money Anxiety. In today's fast-paced world, money anxiety is one of the heaviest burdens we carry. It creeps in quietly, late at night, during bill payments, or when we compare ourselves to others. But the ancient teachings of Buddhism offer us not escape, but a path to peace, not through more money, but through a new relationship with it. Here are 6 timeless Buddhist principles to help you gently untangle financial fear and invite calm, clarity, and abundance into your life. Wealth begins with appreciation. Before you seek more, ask, what do I already have? Gratitude isn't just spiritual fluff. It's the foundation of real contentment. The Buddha taught that contentment is the greatest wealth. When you truly appreciate what's here, right now, your health, your breath, your relationships, you stop chasing and start living. And from that grounded space, abundance grows naturally. 2. Money is a tool, not an identity. You are not your income, your job title, or your savings account. Money is meant to be used, not worshipped. Non-attachment, a core Buddhist teaching, reminds us that clinging creates suffering. Hold money lightly, use it wisely, but never let it define your worth. You were valuable long before you earned your first paycheck. 3. Focus on the present moment. Anxiety thrives in the future, in the what-ifs. But peace lives only in the now. When you focus on your breath, your current needs, your next small step, fear starts to lose its grip. Meditation, mindful breathing, or even simply noticing where you are can anchor you away from worry and back into clarity. 4. Embrace simplicity. More isn't always better. Simplicity is freedom. When you let go of excessive desires, you free yourself from the pressure to always be achieving, buying, or proving. The Buddhist path encourages a life of mindful moderation, choosing quality over quantity, Meaning over clutter. Less stuff, more peace. 5. Giving creates inner abundance. You don't give because you have a lot. You give because it reminds you that you already have enough. Whether it's a smile, your time, a small donation, or simply presence. Generosity cracks open the illusion of lack. It reconnects you to others and expands your sense of worth. As the Buddha said, "If you knew what I know about giving, you would not let a single day pass without sharing something." 6. Invest in learning, wisdom over wealth. Instead of asking, "How can I make more?" try, "How can I understand more?" Wisdom calms fear. It helps you make better choices, avoid impulsive decisions, and see clearly through financial storms. Whether through books, reflection, or mindful observation, knowledge is security that no market crash can erase. Let these 6 teachings be your toolkit, not just for surviving money anxiety, but for transforming it into a deeper kind of wealth, peace, trust, and freedom. Because in the end, it's not how much you earn, but how peacefully you live. So here we are, at the end of this journey, or maybe the beginning of a new one. We've explored 6 powerful numbers, each a key, each a vibration, each a quiet nudge from the universe saying, "You're ready." But here's the deeper truth. It was never about the numbers. It was about you, your willingness to pause, reflect, and realign. Your courage to step off the treadmill of chasing and step into a rhythm of trusting. Your decision to build not just wealth, but wisdom. The Buddhist path doesn't promise easy riches. It offers something better, a rich life. One filled with clarity instead of confusion, balance instead of burnout, and purpose instead of pressure. Maybe this April 22nd isn't about some external miracle. Maybe it's the day you remember that abundance doesn't arrive, it awakens. So breathe deeply, trust your path, walk with intention. Because when you align your energy with presence, gratitude, and giving, that's when the real prosperity begins. Before you go, let's anchor this shift together. Like this video if it sparked something in you. Subscribe and turn on notifications. We've only just begun this journey of mindful transformation. And comment below, "I'm ready to receive with clarity and peace." That simple act, it's your declaration to the universe and to yourself. Not just to get rich, but to live richly. Thank you for walking this path with us. May your days ahead be guided by wisdom, grounded in gratitude, and lit by purpose. Until next time, stay focused, stay open, stay aligned.